So I just spent about 20 minutes here, 25 minutes at the Memorial Park in Brodhead, and I look across the street. Guess what? Some gay cockroach loving police officer decided to harass me at this park. And someone just told me you should walk over there and just say hi to him or ask him, why are you stalking me? That is weird. No, that's upsetting. You go to a small town, you get some coffee on Christmas Eve, and have a good time. And look, oh, there he goes. Go fuck yourself! So you go and have a great time. You learn something. Well, you think out loud while gay people are interfering with the appreciation you can have for this experience with an implant. And as you do, you walk away with knowledge, something you gained, and you turn around and you see gay people getting mad that you don't appreciate the stalking by the police officers, and you see more stalking. Go fuck yourself! Police officers leaving as you leave locations or as you arrive to locations. Police harassment, as you can see. So the greatest thing I learned here today by looking at the stuff, they just told me, I bet you $1,000, like I bet you can't retell what you just learned because we're stopping you from reaching into your memories so that no one knows how smart what intelligence you gain from the experiences you have in life. So one of the best things I learned is that the Union soldiers fought for freedom, and some retard thought that as long as these men have no knowledge of gravity, how gravity improves the human being's body, if they have no knowledge of that, when they go to war as Union soldiers, they'll only have freedom in their minds. Well, the nature of men with very little gravity, with very little strength or abilities to survive conflict. So gravity increases a man's ability to survive a conflict because with gravity a man develops under greater pressure, and under greater pressure he changes into a stronger human being. So these Union soldiers had no gravity. They only fought with the bare minimum of energy they had, which is the existence, a man's natural existence is to fight with the very least amount of energy he has. But it also means he could die very easily. He could be killed very easily. With very little energy and very little control of energy, it's like your life can be taken from you very easily. So these Union soldiers fought without gravity. So, and that's the idea of freedom in physics. So the universe, as we see it, all this space exists with very little gravity. So everything is moving entirely freely, mostly freely. And so men, we represent this freedom as simply as walking this earth. If you don't weightlift, or if you do weightlift, you're gaining more freedom because you're getting bigger, you're increasing the amount of energy in your body. You have more freedom and more mass in a larger area. So you're expanding, just like the universe. But if you had gravity, you would increase your mass, but you would also increase the pressure on that mass. So you would turn into something else. You would turn into a stronger a better man, an improved man, because you have energy and you have gravity. Not too much gravity like a woman. Women have gravity in small areas, or more gravity than men do, a stronger connection to the force of nature that created all things we see. That's a woman, and she carries that evidence between her waist. But men, we're different. Anyways, these Union soldiers fought with freedom. And Union soldiers fought with freedom, and some physicists who founded this country wanted to play out layers of ideology, ideology in physics, with the nation and people in the nation. So one ideology is, if you represent freedom, you should live that idea and die just like all the energy in the universe will die chasing freedom. Like all this energy in our space, all this energy throughout space, and when there's nighttime, you see lots of stars. All of this energy is going to die chasing freedom, the idea of escaping gravity and living as long as possible with the least amount of whatever energy you have. That's the nature of this universe, and that's the nature of freedom. But so if these Union soldiers have no knowledge of freedom, well, gravity, then they're living the best life possible, right? So if you don't know what improves you, if you don't know how to improve or how to be stronger, then you're living the best life possible, right? So those Union soldiers fought a war for freedom, and they died believing that, and somebody who's very intelligent and control the masses, or wants to control history and wants to layer his intelligence throughout history, using people and using physics to back up every idea he has, decided to use soldiers to fight for freedom unnecessarily. That he created slaves, an idea of an absence of freedom, to get people to stand up and fight for freedom and die to fulfill his psychotic ideology that that you're living the best life possible because you're fulfilling the same purpose this universe was created to fulfill. To exist with as much freedom as possible, and at the end of your journey, to die for your freedom. Go fuck yourself! To die for your freedom. So that's the nature of the universe. Of the universe, and therefore it should be the nature of the people within this nation. If you want to live with freedom, you should live to the extent of the energy you have, and then at the end of that journey, die for your freedom, just like all the energy throughout the universe. But that's not the nature of our existence. It's only a choice to live with your freedom. And at the end of your journey, to escape gravity as well as you possibly can and die. Well, lose all the energy in your body. That's not human nature. Human nature is not just freedom, but is also strength. We have gifts from our Father to escape to have energy and power and to live freely. That's and follow that path. But we also have gravity, gifts from our mother, and gravity is eternal. Gravity lives throughout the universe for eternity. So gravity is past, the present, and the future. So we have those gifts too. So we have energy and we have gravity. Those two gifts. And the second gift was supposed to make us stronger. So nobody on this planet is supposed to fight without gravity, without strength. So if you don't have gravity, the most you're supposed to do is exercise your freedoms. You're not supposed to be fighting. You're supposed to be telling, talking, arguing, debating, because you don't have any gravity, and the least amount of your energy can easily be snuffed out, like a photon. You're like a light, like a little bit of light, easily snuffed out and crushed by any physical force, any opposing force. That's human beings without gravity. So these soldiers are supposed to fight with gravity. or not fight at all. And somebody decided to force these soldiers or to lie to these soldiers and tell them, give them an ideology or an ideology of purpose or a made-up purpose to fight for freedom they were entitled to begin with, so that they could play out the universe. An idea that people fought for freedom and they died for freedom because that's the nature of the universe. But it was unnecessary, and they had to create the reason for that to happen with this slavery by making slaves and then lying to people to fight to end slavery. Well, not lying to people. Slavery was bad, but they hid the reality that we created the problem you're using to fight to end your life. And we're lying to you that you're supposed to die for freedom. Like, energy throughout the universe has been trying, lives to exist to inevitably do. But that's not true. We have that journey, the freedom journey, or the universe as is, but we also have free will. We can get stronger. So our free will tells us to, we have another part of our lives, another part of our existence. And the other part of our existence is to get stronger. So the second part, it's like a shared existence. So you share existence with from your mother and from your father. You share existence from the force of nature that we refer to as energy and the force of nature that we refer to as gravity. These two forces lead us to or guide us. They push us in two directions. One direction is for your freedom, and the second direction is for your strength. But you can have both. You can be a free man and have incredible strength as well. You can be free and you can be strong. But someone hid gravity because it's harder to kill people if they have gravity. If they're very strong, they're very dense, they're very fast, they have lots of stamina. It is incredibly difficult to kill those people and to control those people because they are stronger. And they live longer. So all the creations in reality, or the illusions that somebody intelligent decided to set up for this nation, for people to walk through life in routinely, all these illusions that were set up for that purpose, so that people just step by step, decade by decade, they go through the same process, would fall apart if people started living longer. Right? They'd have to change every single aspect of this country, and people would be stuck with two choices and no illusions, and nothing in between, freedom or strength. So that ideology, so they hid gravity. Somebody is hiding gravity from the nation, because making people stronger, making people smarter would destroy everything that somebody made up. Everything that some idiot from long ago had planned for millions of people to be distracted over hundreds of years, to keep control, to maintain control of them. Because like I said, if people got stronger, you can't control them. You can't make them do things for you. Which, at the end of the time, after all this time, we have all learned that somebody is trying to make us have sex. Their purpose became obvious. They simply wanted to be able to control sex. Get people to have sex with certain people more than others, or for sexual purposes. That was the purpose of all their distractions, is to control sex. So if you got stronger, people got stronger, there would be less people would be able to have, well, certain people wouldn't be having sex as much as other people. So to ensure that never happens, what you have to do is make sure no one is leading people in a specific direction that makes them leading people in a specific direction of strength, density. Now, fat people can't have sex, right? Who's going to want to have sex with a fat person when the dense human being across the street is stronger, faster, has more stamina, is going to live longer, work longer, have better life experiences than the fat guy? Or like the people who have a natural advantage, a head start ahead of everybody else. So someone decided to hide gravity because it would eliminate some of the life choices and the value behind money. So money will lose value because no one's going to care about getting paid a lot of money if you can just work a little bit and have incredible gifts beneath the surface that don't cost too much to have, right? So people won't choose rich people for sex anymore. People won't choose fat people for sex anymore. People won't choose looks for sex anymore. People won't choose a lot of illusions that we already have that represent the sex choices that encourage people to have sex with you. So now we have people who, go fuck yourself! That fat woman over there just said, as she drove past me. So now you have people who don't have an advantage anymore because everyone's going to care about the guys or the women who are living longer and who are fit and dense and strong and have an advantage. And the implants can't hide that strength, or the appearance of strength is a great advantage. So implants have been cheating Americans throughout the world, and people around the world, by making strong people look weak and making massive people look better than strong people, or making CrossFit athletes look better than people who produce more energy and try to control it. Well, people who combine two forces together for strength. So you see these matches, you see these meetups or competitions where things don't appear to turn out the way they're supposed to because someone is trying to hide the reality that the strong-looking people are supposed to be winning these competitions. And they use thousands of lies to back up the illusion that strong people are not supposed to be winners. Thousands of made-up statistics or lies or all this nonsense. But the reality is very simple. If you increase your muscle and bone density and increase the power beneath the surface, increase your mass and improve your mass because it's forced to exist under pressure, more pressure than before, you will be stronger, faster, and you will have more stamina than anybody around you. And that's the reality of strength. But you can beat that by placing implants in people and making them weaker in competitions so that they lose, and certain people you want to be attractive or other people to be attracted to would look like winners, would be the winners. So somebody used implants to control the populations and control the outcomes so that they can control sex. And on the bigger scale, they control history. They use the same implants and the same purpose to hide gravity to control history. Now people are fighting for history and dying easily. So before you learn the truth, you'll be dead. So they hope that people 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years will die before they ever learn the reality that they're supposed to continue to exist, or that things aren't the way they're supposed to be. So somebody was really smart. or there's a group of people who think they control the outcome of the nation, or not just the nation, but the people in the nation. So you don't get to just say this is their property, you can have it. They're saying that they own you too. You are their property as well. And that's not fair. That's not a fair, that's like you own a slave. So someone just reminded me too, when I got here and I walked down this road, Vincent Brodsdaughter was telling me that, hey, when you got out of prison, I'd never want to be friends with you unless you were under complete control. And I told him, that doesn't make you friends with somebody. That makes that person a slave. And I asked him, why the hell would you want a slave for a friend? And then he had no answer. He shut up real quick. I guess these people do these things to stupid people. Like really, really stupid people who have no intelligence, and they expect them to believe that because there's an implant in their body and they're being electrocuted, their genitals are being electrocuted, their ears are being electrocuted, and someone is harassing them constantly, that they have to just listen to everything that person says and do and believe whatever they say and act reason with what they argue, what they tell them. They have to accept their reasoning. But I'm not stupid, and I didn't grow up to become stupid. I continue to grow and learn as much as possible. And the reality is, someone just said, well, you haven't learned anything, you haven't told us anything, but it's gonna be hard to hide, my reasoning from intelligent people. So you can lie to people, but you can't hide reality from people. They can make sense or draw the conclusions for themselves. They can write the dots and come up with the details that I can't come up with at the moment because you have a fucking implant in my body. And you're using it to stop me from compressing my thoughts. But anyways, my point is, these guys died for freedom because someone wanted to tell a story of people following the nature of the universe, living and dying for freedom. So, just like the energy throughout the universe, without the knowledge of gravity. And if they had the knowledge of gravity, most of these guys would still be alive. And at the end, the way to end this war would be to prove who had more strength. So the strong guys, if both sides of the war, if the Union and the Confederate soldiers were both close to gravity, really close to gravity, the end of the war would have been determined by the group of people who had control of the other group, not the most people who were dead, who killed the most people, because it's really hard to kill each other. So it's a truthful statement about strength. Who was stronger? Who had control of the other army? So it wasn't about how well you could kill the other army, because like I just said, these guys are really close to gravity and they're really hard to kill. And if that's true, then you'd have to have numbers, or you'd have to gain control of your opponent somehow. The bullets you'd have to gain control of your opponent at some point. That's the ultimate, that's what happens when you grow closer to gravity. Somebody would have to gain control of you in order to stop you from hurting people, or stop you from doing something they don't want you to do. So that's gravity. That's reality. So when people are killing people in our society today, a position of gravity would be somebody who recognized that the freedom is important. It's always important, and it's not it's no one's responsibility to take life from people in a position of freedom. So freedom is the utmost important. It's a gift from gravity, and no one has a right to take it, which means no one has the right to take someone's existence from them. It's a gift from gravity, and it's nobody has that power, has that strength. Not even gravity herself she would gain control and use for a purpose. Ultimately, that's gravity. She gains control of an object and uses it for a purpose. So even the worst criminals in the nation, if possible, should not be killed after you have gained control of them, and they should be used for a purpose. That is a position of strength. That is a position of gravity, and that means you are smart. That means you're smart, you're strong, you're fast, you have stamina, and you will live a very long time. Well, your ideology, your civilization will exist for a very long time if you take a position of gravity. But the gay community likes to break the rules. They like to live with as much freedom as possible and find a way to kill people in broad daylight and hurt, rape, and torture people in broad daylight and escape the gravity of their actions. They think that's the ultimate freedom. And since no one has the strength to stop them, the smarts, the speed, the stamina, the longevity to stop these people from doing it today, tomorrow, next year, the year after, because no one knows what gravity is or how it can improve their lives, these people will continue to rape and torture people because no one is able to control their actions or to stop them from exercising as much freedom to harm people as harming people is a freedom as much as helping people is a freedom. A freedom as in you of your own free will can hurt somebody. It's easy to do. You make that decision, you can hurt somebody. It is a freedom. It is not legal. It is not socially acceptable, but it is a freedom for a person to commit a violent act towards somebody else. It is absolutely free. There's nothing in the world that's going to stop you from hurting somebody. But you will get in trouble or you will be stopped if somebody nearby has gravity, has strength, has speed, has stamina, has intelligence, has the tools to stop you, or before, during, or after. So you have that freedom, but it doesn't mean you won't get in trouble for it. So freedom, somebody's using technology to argue with me as I'm speaking, and they're telling me, well, what's freedom then? Because I know freedom as something that means you have to, it has to be legal. That's not freedom. That's an illusion. That's an illusion of freedom. That you have to follow these specific rules to exercise your freedom. That's an illusion of the entirety of what freedom is. The reality of freedom is any actions you can make with your free will. That's freedom. Anything you choose to do of your own free will is your freedom. And whether it's legal or not is decided by those with gravity, with those with strength in your civilization, or those with an illusion of gravity, those who act like they have gravity, like lawyers, judges, police officers. Those people ultimately decide how much freedom you truly have. And they stop the bad guys or the people who exercise too much freedom. So, hurting people is a freedom, and if you choose to exercise your free will to hurt somebody, there are people in our civilization who are supposed to stop you before, during, or after. But anyways, we're supposed to fight with gravity, we're supposed to get stronger, and the gay community put implants in people, and they are electrocuting my genitals right now. Will Smith just yelled in my ears and asked me, well, what's freedom? First he used a gay dude, then he used his own voice and slightly flashed an image of himself in my eyes. But the reality is, someone is controlling. Reality is, someone has an implant in my body and they're stopping me from talking to you and stopping me from improving my life, ultimately so that I would have sex with gay people for a freedom that's supposed to be mine at birth, and to take ownership of my discovery on improving mankind, so they can attribute it to the gay community and continue to encourage little boys to have sex with gay people because, hey, there's this black guy on the news who discovered how to make you incredibly strong, and you know what? He's also gay. So someone is trying to make sure that's the story with an implant in my body and stop me from learning anything. Stop me from telling you anything important. While I'm trying to continue to learn about history, learn about getting stronger, and learn, and they're trying to inspire me with people I've met throughout. They just flashed images of people I've met throughout my life. I don't care about what the people I've met recently think about me. I don't need insecure support. That's not gravity. That's not important to me. That's not valuable. People who are insecure in my past, lied about my character, told people I was a bad person because they met me for 2 minutes at a time. They didn't meet me for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They met me for 2 minutes of a day and decided for those 2 minutes, this is who I was going to be for the rest of my life. They're worthless people. I was not who they met. And people aren't who you meet for the first 2 minutes of your encounter. They are lots of things, mostly things they don't show other people. Like when they're at home alone watching TV and they're laughing at the dumbest comedy show or the stupid retarded TV show. That's who they are. Or people who like to go for walks every day, but you don't know it because the only person you see is someone who who jokes at school or jokes at the park. That's all. I mean, jokes wherever they go. That's all you see. But in reality, this person loves to go for walks, loves to exercise, loves to talk to people, loves to meet people, but you don't know it. So you lied about their character and you told people to act a certain way around them so they have poor life experiences. And then you use an implant to make sure the perspective you created for them exists as far as people can see. These are called rapists and gay people who can't live with the fact someone else is smarter than them or someone else grew up into a very intelligent person who ended up helping millions of people who would choose to get stronger every single day to live as long as they possibly could and to show value to others that makes the world, us humans, people feel good every single day. That's who I became. That's who I grew up to be. And I keep telling these people that no matter what you said or did to me, I would have always gotten stronger. I would always get stronger. No matter what. I could have chosen a different field, but I love weightlifting. I have always loved it. And I will always love it. But that path made somebody else feel bad. Being a weightlifter made someone, Todd Hall, insecure, feel worthless. If I showed up intelligent, if I showed up incredibly strong, if I showed up fast, if I had stamina and all these without gifts, without getting closer to gravity, by modern weightlifting, he would have been offended that somebody turned out to be better, look better than him. So it was too much. It was too much. And the worthless police officer just drove past down there. He just drove through that intersection. He was probably going to come over here or come back over here. But my point is, I turned out to be very strong. I turned out to be very fast. I would be. If my genetics are so good that I could probably lift a ton of weight and still be stronger, faster, and have more stamina than most people. I have a gift from gravity already. I was born with it. I control my mass very well. That was a gift from gravity, and it could get better if I stop spreading the weight out. But anyways, that path was mine to be taken from the moment I was born. But I could have chosen another path. I could have chosen a degree in a different field, and I guarantee you that if I went down a different path, I would improve that path just as much as I've improved weightlifting. And Taylor Swift is gay. She keeps trying to make me cry with an implant. I don't cry for any reason, especially to celebrate energy. I don't cry because I found energy. You celebrate life. That's what I do. But gay people, Taylor Swift and other gay people, whenever someone finds energy, whenever people find energy, the gay community loves to cry. They get sad, they get upset because they realize people will get stronger or they'll discover reality. They'll discover the truth. So gay people like to cry when they find energy because they're upset, and that means they lose power or they lose control of people. And they think they're gravity. The gay community believes they are the gravity of the universe, the gravity of the nation, the gravity of society, the gravity of all civilization. That's what the gay community believes. But the reality is, the gravity that created us, or the gravity of physics, is the only gravity that can improve our lives. And that's the only gravity we should be concerned with. That is our gravity. Growing closer to gravity is our only purpose. But gay people think it should be them. Have sex with them. Grow closer to them and let them do whatever horrible things they do to you because they just told me in my ears, we're the smartest people. We steal intelligence. We spy on people. We take intelligence from people. We hurt people because if we go to jail, it won't be a punishment for us. We'll just have sex with the dudes in prison. And, or we have an implant in our body that gives us pleasure whenever we need it, or takes the need for pleasure away from us by killing that area of the brain or turning that area of the brain off. So we're just in prison without worries, or we can talk to people, or we can see things, or we can control people outside of prison with these implants. So we're not really suffering. But anyways, Todd Hall was a bad mentor, and I still turned out to be incredibly smart. And I guess all these people live their whole lives with either knowledge of or a lie. Live with a lie, thinking they were living the best life possible, like these 80-year-old fat people, these 70-year-old fat people, these not fat people, but all people, not just fat people, all people live their lives thinking they had the best life possible and there's nothing more to be done. But that's a lie. There's a whole lot more to be done. There's a whole lot more life to live if you grew closer to gravity. And that's what these people were supposed to do. Instead of growing closer to the gay community and torturing or sexually harassing people all day and night, they were supposed to grow closer to gravity so they could continue to live and it'd be harder and have the best life experiences possible. That's what they were supposed to be doing, instead of raping people with implants or threatening people or killing people if they didn't have sex with them. They were supposed to get stronger. But someone built an implant and these people believed that was their purpose. These are the rapists. The rapists in these Silverado trucks who drive past knowing there are implants in people, who are listening to me speak at this very moment from blocks away, from miles away. They can hear what I'm saying. They know there are implants in people, and for years they've listened and watched somebody rape me with a freaking implant in the privacy of my home. Instead of doing what they're supposed to do and growing closer to gravity, getting stronger. That's what they were supposed to do. They weren't supposed to torture and rape people. They were supposed to get closer to gravity. That's what they were supposed to do. If you want to say something, come say it. But anyways, that's the gay community. They will rape and torture people and watch it happen to other people all over the country, all over the world. And people are scared. You know, someone just told me why no one stops. They just said in my ears, why do people watch it happen? Because they have no gravity. They have no strength. They have no strength to stop these things from happening, from stopping the gay community who believe in the most ridiculous lifestyles or free will. They have the most ridiculous free will from hurting people. They have no strength. They die. We die so easily. It's not worth us saying anything or standing in the way, because we die easily. We have no gravity. They don't know it to say that, but the reality is they have no gravity. They have no strength. They have no control of other people. Besides an implant, and they only use the implant to help gay people. So the bystanders are really without help.